Please welcome Race Government Force Sales Manager Josh Phillips.
I don't know what he's saying. It's so staticky. I understood the assignment on that one. Oh, jeez. I don't know what he's saying.
Well, Ty Majeski, we've all three mentioned it. He has been the man to beat here at IRP, capturing the win the last 2 straight years. Under the lights for a little short track action.
Ty Majeski, he's a short track ace. Yeah, very fast hard field. So I don't got the basic enough.
Ty Majeski leads very high. Ty Majeski gives him a win at speed.
It's that weird that Ty Majeski is the 9th ranked team and he turned the woman some of her testing in a flat slot. Second consecutive year, Ty Majeski will Indianapolis race record.
Well, we've been talking about Ty Majeski so much already, Regan. Let's just dial him up, get his thoughts.
I think that's a great idea. Let's check in with him. Ty Majeski, this is Regan in the FS1 booth. You got a copy, bud?
Clear.
All right, man. You're getting ready to start second here this evening. You've won this race the past 2 years. How do you approach tonight? Is this one a must-win based on the point situation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a must-win. I think, we're in a decent point, but obviously somebody underneath us wins. That's problematic, but I feel good about where we're at. We just need to have a good run tonight, Regan. It's certainly not a must-win. We just need to be smart, execute tonight. We're going to have a great show at 150. It's going to be a fun race tonight. This place is always enjoyable.
All right, bud. Excited to watch you guys race tonight, and always a great racetrack. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good one up there.
All right, let's take a look now at our Mother's starting grid.
All right, we'll do that ourselves here. Welcome to the stream, everybody. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series racing tonight, Indianapolis Raceway Park for the running of the TSport 200. 200-lap race for this short track, barely over a half mile in length, just outside of downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. Obviously, the NASCAR Cup Series and the NASCAR Xfinity Series will be on the big oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a few miles down the road. But for tonight, we will be short track racing under the lights on a Friday evening. Practice was in a full 50-minute session earlier today, but there was no qualifying due to a rainout of storms that came through the Indianapolis area earlier this afternoon. Same storms actually ended up washing out Cup Series practice on the big oval earlier today as well. Fastest in that practice session was Corey Heim, and he's going to be starting on the pole for today's race as well, based off of the metric with qualifying getting rained out. So we'll take a look at our starting lineup this evening. Again, Heim on the pole. Ty Majeski, the two-time defending winner of this race, trying to go for 3 in a row at Indianapolis Raceway Park, will start on the outside of row 1. Row number 2 will be Chandler Smith and Gio Ruggiero. Ruggiero still looking for his first career win, and Smith 2 wins on short tracks already this season, including the most recent one at North Wilkesboro. Ben Rhodes with Daniel Hemrick will make up row 3. Ben Rhodes well below the Cup season. Tyler Ankrum and Grant Enfinger will make up row number 4. Row 5 for Luke Fenhouse and Caden Honeycutt as they round out the top 10 on the starting grid. Lane Riggs and Ross Chastain will make up row number 6. Chastain, the only Cup regular in today's field. Brent Cruz and Brendan Butterbean Queen going to be driving the 07 for Spire Motorsports tonight. Tanner Gray alongside Corey Day will be making a start in row number 8. First time we've seen Corey in a truck in some time this season. Connor Mosack and Andres Perez will make up row 9. Row 10 for Raja Kruth and Matt Crafton. Stuart Friesen, who has 1 win on the season, alongside Jake Garcia, who comes in the first driver below the cutoff line. He trails by 38 points on his teammate, Ty Majeski. Row number 12 will be Jason Alexander and Jack Wood. Matt Mills on the inside of row 13 to his outside, Frankie Muniz. In row 15, AJ Waller. In row number 16 on the inside. And on the outside of that row will be Jordan Anderson making his return to the Truck Series. Norm Benning and Boston Oliver in row number 17. And row 18, rounding out our 35 truck field, will be Greg Van Als. So that is the full lineup for tonight. 35 trucks on the starting grid. Only 7.5 degrees of banking in the corners here, but very wide racetrack from top to bottom. We'll be seeing every bit of asphalt used, and that is because of how old this asphalt is here at IRP. Going to see a ton of tire fall off. 60 laps will be in both stages 1 and 2 today, 80 laps in stage 3. While technically this is a standalone Truck Series race because of all of the Cup Series based teams not being too far away at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Cup event this weekend, we will have live pit stops tonight. Obviously, with the shorter stages for fuel purposes, they won't have to pit for fuel or tires, but in the event of any cautions, again, we should see a lot of tire fall off today. We could see some pit strategy there, and we will, again, have live pit stops, which isn't a normal occurrence when we do have standalone events for the truck and Xfinity races. Kind of a unique circumstance this weekend. Terry Lewis, Billy Kramer, Sharitha Cooper, The Republic, Dudlebug5, Steve, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Chat poll is already open, and that will stay open until the end of Stage 2. I asked you, as usual, who do you think is going to win tonight's race? And in the voting poll, your options are between Corey Heim, Ross Chastain, Lane Riggs, or somebody other than those three. And right now, Corey Heim leads at 54%. 11% of you have Ross Chastain currently, only 7% with Lane Riggs, and 29% of you took somebody other than those top three. I'm going to take Ty Majeski for the win here today. I know he hasn't had a lot of speed this season, but he has shown a little bit more speed on the short track side of things. He had a top 5 for the most part at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Bristol, he had a pretty decent run. Martinsville earlier in the spring. Those have definitely been his best races. He is a 2-time defending winner of this race, and he starts on the front row, so he's got track position from the start. While I do think Corey Heim is going to be the other category, and we'll see if I'm going to be right. And we'll also take a look at those point standings coming into the day. 144-point lead in the regular season standings for Corey Heim. He could actually lock up the regular season title tonight. If he has even just a decent performance. He's more than 2 full race worth of points ahead. He could score as many as 61 points in a single race. So we'll monitor Corey Heim to see if he can clinch that regular season title depending on how the race goes. Coming into the race, mathematically, the only 3 drivers who would still have a shot at it other than Heim would be Chandler Smith, Lane Riggs, and Daniel Hemrick. But again, a chance to clinch the regular season title for Corey. So obviously he's got a handful of wins this year, 5 to be exact, 2 for Chandler Smith, and then 1 win for Lane Riggs, Tyler Ankrum, Daniel Hemrick, Stuart Friesen, and Raja Karut. Those are the 7 Truck Series regulars that are locked into the playoff field. 10 drivers can be locked in total. We only have 3 races to go in the regular season, 2 after tonight, so we could start guaranteeing that we will have some drivers that will point their way in if we don't have another new winner this evening. Caden Honeycutt, 67 points above the cut line to start the night, plus 64 for Grant Enfinger. Ty Majeski is the last driver above the cutoff line as the defending series champion. ThorSport Racing has definitely been struggling for the most part this season. Majeski, the only one of those trucks that are in the playoffs. His teammate Jake Garcia, as I monitored a little bit ago, minus 38 points is the first driver outside the cut line. Gio Ruggiero will be minus 65 in his rookie campaign. Ben Rhodes minus 68, minus 101 for Tanner Gray are the drivers on the bubble entering tonight's race. Again, 200 laps will be our scheduled distance. Corey Heim has elected the inside lane for this initial start, and we'll get rolling quickly. Robert Goodrich also thanks for tuning in. Riggs has been getting better. He has. I mean, he's been quick all season, but he's actually putting full races together. This is the first truck race we've seen, though, in 3 weeks playing field, and that could really help for a driver like Ty Majeski, who starts on the front row tonight, still in search for his first win since winning the championship, both the race and the title at Phoenix a year ago. As they come out of the restart zone, Corey Heim will get the launch first. Green flag is in the air, and we are underway in front of a packed crowd on the front stretch here at IRP. Majeski did not fire off well in that outside lane. He's going to be cleared by not 1, but 2 trucks on the inside lane. 3 and nearly 4 wide, right in the middle of the pack on the opening lap. A couple of trucks bouncing off one another back there, 3 wide outside the top 10. Corey Day, one of those trucks down to the bottom. And the opening lap will be led by a pole sitter, Corey Heim. He's got about a 3 to 4 truck length advantage over the second place driver Chandler Smith, who started third, was able to slide up in front of Majeski in that first corner after Majeski did not fire off well out of that restart zone. Well, Majeski's been all over the back bumper of the 38 car in the early going. Tire conservation is going to be huge, especially if we see some long green flag runs today. Kind of an even mix the first couple of years in the Truck Series return to IRP. We had one day race, and then we've had back-to-back night races, and both night races were won by Majeski. Kind of starting in the daylight hours, but we will be under full darkness by the finish. So the track will be going through some changes. Very hot, sticky this weekend in Indianapolis. 73% humidity percentage. A lot of that was because of the afternoon thunderstorm showers that came through. Still 83-degree ambient temp with the track temp around 100, even in the pretty much nighttime. Heim opening up about a 1 second lead after leading these first 5 laps of the race. Majeski is 1.2 seconds back at third. Lane Riggs 2.1 seconds off the lead in fourth, and Ben Rhodes rounds out the top 5. He's 2.7 seconds off the lead. Seven positions gained already for Lane Riggs in the opening 6 laps of the race for himself to get up into the top 5 to fourth. Raja Kruth has also picked up 7 spots already. 8 positions gained for Dawson Sutton from the back of the field, and 7 for Greg Van Ulst after starting dead last in this race. So, few drivers are already on the move, just a handful of laps in. Can't really have much of a better start than that for only being 5 to 6 laps into a short track, picking up about 7 to 8 spots. This track is just so wide. I mean, you'll see guys run tires or riding on the wall. That groove will widen up closer to the wall the longer the green flag run goes. As tires start to fall off, you're not really going to be able to get the truck to pinch all the way down on the bottom as well as, say, what Daniel Hemrick is doing in the 19 right now, where he is all over the apron on both ends of the speedway. Allowed him to make a pass on Gio Ruggiero for 9th place that last lap through turns 3 and 4. Heim still holding on to a 1 second lead. In these opening laps, he jumped out 1 second ahead. In the last few laps, pretty even in the lap time side of things between Heim and Smith. Both in the 24-1s. Same can be said for Ty Majeski. Fastest car, actually, that last lap with a 24 flat was Lane Riggs in 4th. So he's already picked up 7 spots, and he's running better lap times than the 3 cars in front of him for the time being. We'll see if the long run will be for the same. Last 2 laps now, 24-1s to our race leaders, 24-3. Each of the top 3 had 24-3s. I mean, just in 10 laps to start this race, we've already seen 1 second of tire fall off for our race leader, Corey Heim. His best lap was on lap 2, 23.338, and he had a 24.308 the last lap. So what? 1 second of fall off in 10 laps on a short track. That is just, it's insane. I don't know when the last repave at IRP was, but it was a very, very long time ago. I'd imagine it was well before when NASCAR had left here in both the truck and at the then time Busch Series, when they would race here on an annual basis. Heim working his way through the back of lap traffic. Lane Riggs putting a lot of pressure on our 2-time defending winner of the race, Ty Majeski. Got a 3-car battle going on for second at the moment. All of them having to go to the inside to miss the lap truck, so, and because of how wide this race groove is, lap traffic is going to be very, very painful for a lot of these fast trucks. Moving chicanes, if you will be all over the racetrack. Riggs sends it down into turns 1 and 2. Pulls alongside Majeski. He was close to clearing him in the middle of the corner as he slid up, though. Majeski able to get the power down on the outside. The problem with Majeski on the outside, he can't get the power down as much. He slipped the rear tires off turn 4 that time. He'll lose the battle for third, but having Chandler Smith in the 38 on that outer line right in front of him with Majeski under duress from the 34, you can definitely tell Riggs getting his truck to handle much better. Majeski couldn't run the inside to get by the 38 truck. He was forced to have to run the outside line, so I'm sure the 98 is going to be making some adjustments when they get to the next pit stop, but for right now, Lane Riggs is the fastest truck on the track. 8 positions gained, again, 7 of those in the first 5 laps. He picked up 1 more spot in the last 10 laps combined, And now he's going after his teammate for second as they cut the commercial. So stage 1 again, 60 laps. We're 16 laps in. Chandler Smith is in second. And Lane Riggs, after starting 11th, up to third, battling for second. It probably won't be long before he takes over that spot from his teammate. Corey Heim not really pulling away from these guys in lap traffic either. Probably not the way that we would usually see Corey Heim pull away at most tracks this season. Not only the best season of his truck career, but one of the greatest Truck Series seasons of all time he's got going for himself right now. He's already eclipsed 1,000 laps led. He only had to lead a handful of laps coming into the night, so starting on the pole and leading the first 12 laps of the race alone has eclipsed him to 1,000 laps led. That's 1,000 laps in just less than 16 races technically, because we're in the 16th race right now. But yeah, just over 1,000 laps led in less than 16 races. He's only finished outside the top 10 4 times this year. 0 DNFs. He's only finished outside the top 5 6 times. And he's won a third of the races ran. We have had a couple of Cup Series regulars win truck races on the season. One of which was Kyle Larson at Homestead. Carson Hocevar had a win at Kansas. And I believe that is it off the top of my head. Kyle Busch at Atlanta as well. That's the one I was forgetting. Kyle Busch won at Atlanta earlier in the season. You have to let me know if I'm missing any in the chat, but I believe I got them all. 25 likes on the stream. Our goal is to get to 50 tonight, so be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. It's our second live commentary stream of the day. Cup Series practice was supposed to take place earlier this afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern, but unfortunately with the rain out, we didn't really get the usual live commentary stream in. We still streamed for about an hour and a half, wrapping up the NASCAR 08 race at Charlotte during the rain delay portion of the stream, and then ended up obviously calling it after about an hour. Riggs has made the pass for second on Chandler Smith during the commercial break, and he's only 0.3 of a second off the leader. Riggs may be the guy to beat. He's got a couple of short track wins as well. In the Truck Series ranks, he's on the outside of our leader this time by. Riggs will actually lead that lap at the line. To doing so, off turn 2, he's got him cleared now. And it'll stay clear into turns 3 and 4. So our first lead change of the race, and from the 11th starting spot to first in just 23 laps for Lane Riggs as he is out in front. First 20 laps of the night were led by Corey Heim. Last 2 and now 3 this time by will be for Riggs. Riggs only has 1 win on the season coming at Pocono. I believe the last oval race that we have ran. Because the last truck race that we did have 3 weeks ago was actually another one of the standalone events on the season, Lime Rock Park. First road course race of the year, dominated by Corey Heim, where he led 99 of 100 laps that day. But he's got some competition here tonight on the speed side of things in the early going. Still waiting to see if Riggs' tires maybe going to fall off a bit quicker in the back half of the stage, and we're not even halfway through stage 1 yet, so that could happen. But really, 25 laps is a long time at IRP on tires, specifically. Definitely going to be 4 tire stops whenever they do change tires today. If you're going to want track position, you're going to have to race your way up there. Not going to be any sort of split strategies tonight. It's a straightforward driver's kind of racetrack. Swamped lap traffic around that battle for third between Ty Majeski and Chandler Smith, which has really been going on since the very start of the race. Chandler Smith was able to slide in front of Majeski on that opening start. Majeski's been all over his back bumper ever since. Slide job by Majeski there after the 38 overdrove the entry to turn 3. And as Majeski pulled clear, the 38 trying to crossover kind of got into the left rear corner panel of Majeski. Knocked him a little bit loose. They're side by side, but now the 38's on the bottom and the 98 probably in that prime position on the outside. can get a slightly better drive off. Chandler Smith was probably holding up Majeski for a while, but Majeski's truck not as strong as, say, Lane Riggs was, where he was able to get by both race trucks earlier. And already Riggs has pulled out to about a 1 second lead over Corey Heim. Didn't take long. It's about a tenth a second quicker a lap on average right now because he's got about 8 to 9 tenths on him, and he just took the lead 8 laps ago. Showed the replay of the crossover by the 98. There's a slide job, and he definitely had a bit of a slide off turn 4. Majeski kind of dirt tracking it a bit. He's a little bit more than 2 seconds off the lead, and after making the pass on Smith, he's put almost a half a second between the two trucks already in just a couple of laps. Haven't seen too much major movement through the field of those at the front of the pack outside of our race leader, Lane Riggs. Kurth with a win already this season. He's never won on a short track, though. Both of his Truck Series career wins coming on intermediates, Nashville and Las Vegas. So we shall see if he can have a stellar short track run today. He did lead a lot of the laps he's led this season at Martinsville earlier in the spring. So he has proven already this year that he can compete on short tracks. I'm trying to look back at how many laps he's led on the year. Let's see here. Caruth has led 189 laps this season. I was going to say, he's led quite a few. He's actually got the second most laps led on the year, only behind Corey Heim. But a lot of those coming on short tracks. And I can remember that Martinsville race because I'm pretty sure he ended up... Well, he didn't win a stage that day because he hasn't won a stage yet this season. But he definitely led a lot of laps in that race. Ashton Smickle, thanks for tuning in. Lane or Chandler to win. Coming into the night, I was actually leaning more towards Front Row Motorsport. And I thought the 38 and the 34 were the only two guys that had any sort of speed for Corey Heim. And I'm not going to say Corey Heim had the race won when he was battling with Lane Riggs on that final restart. Riggs was giving him a run for his money, but he just overdrove it and kind of took Corey Heim out of a chance to win because he spun him out. But Corey definitely struggling with the long run balance of his race car. Had the lead, was kind of sitting on a 1 second advantage for the longest time until Lane Riggs got to second place, ran him down, pulled away. He's 2 seconds ahead of him. And Ty Majeski's just getting better and better, it seems like, as the run carries on as well. Majeski to the inside of Corey Heim in the 11. Majeski had some pretty impressive long run speed in practice earlier, which is kind of what swayed my original game plan, which was to go for either the 38 or the 34. I was having a tough decision to pick between the two because Chandler Smith has 2 short track wins this year. Riggs hasn't won on a short track yet this season, but last year he had 2 short track wins. So I was teetering back and forth between the two. Riggs is the guy to beat at the moment, but Ty Majeski, he's looking pretty good too. Right back to where he started in second after falling back to as far as 4th. Shout out to Tyler Anker picking up a couple spots over the run as well. He's just broken into the top 5 for the first time. Raja Caruth is still moving forward. Up another spot to 7th. And he's actually gained the most positions of any driver today, 12. Obviously, Riggs can't move any more forward because he's leading, but he quick based on how this first stage is going. He's showing a lot of speed. Cup practice now combined for a 40-minute session at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I did see that. Yeah, practice was washed out today. They are supposed to do a practice session before qualifying tomorrow. We'll be live for that, barring, whatever weather, obviously. But yeah, the plan will be to go live at 2 p.m. for practice tomorrow for the Cup Series before qualifying. Obviously be live for the Xfinity Series race tomorrow evening afterwards as well. So doubleheader on the channel tomorrow. As we usually do on Saturdays, because I don't think we've not had a doubleheader so far this season. At least during the NASCAR year on a Saturday. Even the one Saturday night race that the Cup Series has had so far this year at Atlanta was doubled up because of Sorry if there's any lagging issues going on at the moment. I don't know if there is or isn't. There might be some. I got booted off the internet for a second. It wasn't just my laptop. My phone actually lost connection there for a second, too. But I think we're okay at the moment. Earl Arnold Jr., thanks for tuning in. 45 to win. 07 is Dark Horse. Oh, for tonight. Yeah, those are very bold picks. Both of them. Yeah, Brendan Queen had a top 3 last year at North Wilkesboro. And I don't remember if he ran that race earlier in the spring this year or not. I know he didn't have a top 3 again if he did. But in the Spire 07 tonight. And he's been running a lot of ARCA races this season. Doing pretty good in ARCA. Won a couple of races already this year, including the season opener at Daytona. But he's settling in 15th right now. He actually lost 1 spot off the initial start. Corey Day's on the move. He's up into the top 10. 6 spots gained for Day, making his IRP truck debut. Not sure how many races he has ran so far this season. He's ran a decent amount early in the year, but not as much later in the season. I don't know if he's actually running for truck points. Yeah, Corey Day's not running for truck points, I don't believe. I think he's got Xfinity points in the starts he's made there. Instead, gotta check just to make sure. The last time we did see Corey Day in a truck, he had a top 5, and I think that was at Rockingham. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Yeah, he's in Xfinity points for some reason. He's had 4 Xfinity starts this year, but I would have to go into Racing Reference to find how many, because I do not know at the moment. Lots of lag issues. Lightning around you. Traffic lights are out here. Oh, yeah. Well, that definitely wouldn't help either. All right. So Riggs' lead over Ty Majeski at the moment is 2.6 seconds. The last lap ran. Riggs was about 0.2 of a second quicker than Majeski. And Riggs is already lapped up through the 20th place truck of Gio Ruggiero. Just passed him moments ago. Last truck on the lead lap currently in 19th is Matt Crafton. Greg Van also about to lose another lap. He's the next truck in front of our race leader, Riggs. Corey Heim, during the commercial break, fell back to 4th place. Chandler Smith is now up to 3rd. And now Grant Enfinger, meanwhile, will just be making a pass for 4th on Heim. So Heim has fallen to 5th place. He's actually about 7.5 seconds off the lead. It's not the Corey Heim we're used to seeing this season. A lot of his dominating pace has been more on the intermediates. Again, Chandler Smith with 2 short track wins this year. Had very few short track races in the truck series this season. And he's getting beat by guys who I would consider, if he were to get beat on a short track by the top 3, you know, my pre-weekend picks, Riggs, Smith, and then my pre-race pick, post-practice earlier, Ty Majeski, they're all in the top 3. Grant Enfinger, again, up to 4th just moments ago, was able to make a pass there. So we'll see if Heim hangs on to the 5th spot. The lap times of both Ankrum and Carruth behind him are a bit quicker, but I don't know if they're going to be able to close a 2-second gap in these final 9 laps or not. Jojo, thanks for tuning in. Going to be calling it the Craftsman series before too long. Yeah, I mean, they're halfway there. It's Craftsman Truck Series. The Matt Craftsman series. The Matt Craftsman Truck Series. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Corey Heim, earlier in the season, actually passed Matt Crafton on the all-time wins list, despite the fact that he doesn't have a championship yet in his third full-time season. That's the insane thing. It took him 3 years to win as many races as it took Matt Crafton to win in his whole truck career, and Crafton's got 3 championships. One of those championships was a winless season, which I believe is 2018, if I'm not mistaken, was his last one. And he hasn't won a race since Kansas of 2020, I believe, is his last win. It's been about 5 years. For some top 10s here and there. Not off to a good start today, running 19th and falling off the lead lap, but see if he can get the free pass position at the end of the stage. He's still the first truck a lap down. Luke Fenthouse is in 18th, last truck on the lead lap, in front of the leader. 5 laps to go in stage 1 this time by. 3.3 second lead for Riggs over Majeski. 7.2 seconds to Chandler Smith in third.
Where do the guys that come off dirt excel? It's in a racetrack. It's got multiple grooves where you can really move around, and he is as low as anybody right now. He's almost if he wants to go a little lower in 3 and 4, he's going to be in the grass. So I recommend that, but who knows? Maybe he'll try it.
There's 4 laps to go here in stage number 1. Lane Riggs, guys. He's in a zip code of his own. Over a 3-second lead for him over Ty Majeski. Chandler Smith, Grant Enfinger, Corey Heim, the top 5.
Now you got to worry about how you adjust that 34 truck. You know, we had a different rubber for the ARCA series that was on the track when the race started. It's cooling off. That's going to change things. Do you just leave that truck alone, or do you have to adjust it a bit to predict how the conditions might change through the race into the night?
And this is where good notes are going to pay off for all of these drivers, right? And especially the ones that have been here before that kind of think they know which direction it's going to go. Not only the rubber, as you mentioned, the sun's going down, Michael, and there's going to be another shift when we do the second pit stop as well, when it cools off even more. So multiple changes.
In these situations, when you're about to come down pit road for the first time, do you want to rely on your crew chief and the information he has, or do you want him to make the changes that you want?
I want the crew chief to hear what I'm saying the truck's doing and where I think the track's going and change it based on that.
And also, I want that crew chief to open that notebook up too. They've got so many notes and so many predictions about how differing adjustments will affect what the driver's saying.
Right.
The crew chief has a lot of information in his hands.
He does, and the drivers do as well. And certainly that's why I say it's all about communication, the back and forth.
Final lap of stage number 1. Lane Riggs on his way to pick up his 5th stage win of the season. So impressed with what we've been seeing so far from that 34. Dylan Capello is crew chief. He's a racer as well. Those guys are tuned up. Won at Pocono just a couple of weeks ago, and we know a couple of races ago, I should say, and we know what that means. It just turns up that motivation. Stage 1 is in the books. Lane Riggs is your winner. Can he hang on? Plenty more racing action to come from IRP.
All right, so Lane Riggs will open up the first stage with the stage 1 win, leading the final 40 laps of the stage after Corey Heim led the first 20 laps to start the race from the pole. Lane Riggs went from 11th to 1st. No cautions in this first stage. Our first yellow will be the lap 60 stage end. About 25 minutes to get there. And we've got 140 laps remaining in this 200-lap race. Stage 2 will be 60 laps in length as well, and Stage 3, 80 laps. We'll have our first pit stops of the day upcoming. Everybody will become. We'll see what adjustments some of these teams can make to try to do what they can to catch up to Lane Riggs, who, as of right now, has the dominant truck of the evening. Yep, NASCAR going to San Diego next year, street race, replacing the Chicago street race. IRP equals adjust every opportunity you have. Yes, it does. %90 of adjustments, air pressure. Yeah. Nowadays, air pressure and wedge, I mean, that's about all you can do in the race. We've seen on bigger ovals or road courses where, you know, somebody's struggling severely, they'll go underneath the hood and maybe change something in the car. They can keep somebody on the lead lap. You can't really get away with that on a short track because you don't have the time to be able to do so. So what you have is what you have. And you had practice earlier, which was 50 minutes for these guys to make those adjustments. They at least had a full practice session this week for the truck series. So not like they didn't have practice time this week to try to work on it. And I think that extra practice time might have helped Lane Riggs just that much more because Corey Heim was quicker in practice. They were able to learn earlier, make some adjustments post practice, and now during the race, he's much better. Matthew Dorter Bruno, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you tuning in, and thanks for the comment. I mean, you can adjust the track bar. That's up to the driver now, though, because they have that track bar mount in the car. So, used to be back in the, old days before the current vehicles in the top 3 series that they didn't have the track bar adjuster in the car itself. So now the driver can kind of adjust it as the run goes on. I'm sure a lot of the drivers are messing with that thing on a nearly lap by lap basis, especially with a short track like this. Low grip, low speed.
Epic weekend. Seeing the drivers, all the social media that went out about the announcement of this race and how much everybody was into it. It was really fun to see, and I cannot wait for this event next year.
Michael, you and I have both been around for a while, and there's certain events that just they get you pumped up ahead of time even. And as soon as that announcement went out, wow, what a moment. They're going to be racing next to aircraft carriers. How cool is that?
All the military and their families will be out. Lots of fans in Southern California. A lot of drivers are from California and very excited about this opportunity. Stage points. Lane Riggs maximized it with 10 there, all the way down to Tanner Gray. Moved up 5 spots. Picked up 1 point.
Yeah, stage win for Lane Riggs. Ty Majeski was second. Chandler Smith third. Grant Enfinger fourth. Corey Heim fifth in the stage. Then Tyler Ankrum 6th, Raja Cruz 7th, Corey Day 8th, Ben Rhodes 9th, Tanner Gray in 10th.
This point, Grace, he's been that fast.
Spin your mic, Josh.
I'm gonna start with the 38 of Chandler Smith. His biggest complaint, no lateral drive. He said, I just need to be able to rotate the front of this thing better. So in addition to those tires and fuel, he'll get a little bit of adjustment to help him out, Caitlin.
Well, Josh, looking at the 98 of Ty Majeski in the middle of your screen, 2-time winner here at IRP, was 38 points above the cut line coming into this race. Think has 0 lateral grip. They'll make an air pressure adjustment on that 98. The 34 at the bottom of your screen, he is the stage winner. He said, like you said, Michael, really happy with the speed and overall. Just he wants to fire off a little freer on that 34. Jamie?
Guys saw a chassis adjustment for Lane Riggs, so they are adjusting, thinking about how things are going to be changing throughout this race.
You see there, a great pit stop by the 34 team gets him off first.
Oh, somebody's missing a left front tire.
About that move by the 7th. Corey Day all the way up. Oh, that's Raja, excuse me.
Raja gains 4 on pit
the
road.
42?
Nice job by that pit crew.
Day as well. He picks up a couple of spots.
Corey High loses 4.
How do they not catch that?
Both restart in the 10th spot. We'll be looking from IRP.
Oh my gosh. I know it's a remote booth for Fox, but I can see it clear as day from my TV, and we've got the same cameras, but somebody was sitting on pit road missing the left front tire, it looked like. As low as the car was sitting on the left front splitter, I would assume that driver was missing a tire. It looked like it was the 42 of Matt Mills, but I couldn't tell how far away that was. I'm sure that we'll get a replay of it when they come back from commercial break. And if they don't, then you at least heard it from me. But I can't confirm who it was. If somebody else in the chat maybe had a better eye on it. It looked like it was Matt Mills, but I'm not going to confirm that until I see a replay. They took off out of the pit box, and then all of a sudden, they just kind of stopped right in the middle of pit road. A couple boxes after they ended up getting out. You don't usually see that happen too much in the truck and Xfinity level because you got 5 lug nuts, so I don't know how many of them were loose, but it had to have been quite a few. That usually doesn't happen. Cup Series with the single lug, we've seen that happen quite a bit, but usually don't see that here. I find it amazing that the pit crews that pit these cup cars as fast as they do every weekend are able to adjust from single lug to 5 so easily and not make mistakes or very minimal. Obviously, we see, mistakes on pit road all the time, but it's a minimal at best. And especially when you have the efficiency rate of how quick that they're making these stops. You think that would throw you off a rhythm, both not only for the Friday and Saturday shows, but even into the Sunday shows, even though you would think single lug is, quicker, easier, when you're pushing for every millisecond to try to make your pit stop faster than others, probably prone to making more mistakes. But yeah, the tire changes themselves. It's a lot of precision.
By Mother's High Performance Parking.
All of them are loose, yeah, probably.
This shit's hot.
Went back on pit road, didn't they, Davey? We had Hine having issues. You could see, does he stop on the line, Regan?
It's tough to tell from this angle, but you do see immediately they get ready right here and they say, wait, we got to back the truck up, and the official standing up there and they back it up. So we were wondering where he lost all the positions. That's exactly where he lost, was that hesitation right there.
And we thought maybe they made major adjustments to that truck because we know how good he's been all year long, but it was just the fact that he slid long in his pit and lost from 4th position all the way back to 10th.
And that wasn't the only thing that happened out
Oh,
there.
it was Chastain.
Ross Chastain, as he was leaving his pit box here, the left front tire was not.
Oh!
He's trying to either back up or go forward, and unfortunately, you see that tire spit out there, so he had to come back down pit road. Josh, what are they saying?
There's damage on the
tires have
left.
been the issue for this 44 team. Before they even came in for the pit stop, Ross was worried that he used up his tires, that he quartered them during that first stage. Then they come in and have that issue where the left front got on. You saw it never got fully attached, came off, had to stop and come back to his pit box. So a tough day got worse for the 44 team.
Yeah, no doubt. He was the last truck on the lead lap before that stop. And now look at all the damage on the left side for Ross Chastain.
Yeah, they lost a lap in that pit road incident, so he's off the lead lap. Struggle so far for Ross. We thought he might be one of the guys we're going to have to beat tonight.
I like the watermelon paint scheme for that 44.
Corey Heim, no penalty for him. They were able to back it up and they were able to get those adjustments that he needed. So we'll see now if that'll help, as he had fallen back before the end of that stage.
So we saw the launch from behind on the bottom, and I thought maybe the bottom would be the preferred choose, but you can see Lane Riggs is taking the outside. See how that goes.
We saw that the outside didn't work so well for Ty Majeski. He's got to be happy starting on the inside. Here we go. 60 laps will round out stage number 2. Lane Riggs on the outside. Ty Majeski.
All right. Lane Riggs will be the leader on the restart after winning the race off pit road. I'm curious to see what Raja Caruth can do from the outside of row 2 here, because Caruth gained the most positions of any driver in that opening stage, and now he is up there with Lane Riggs. He might have something for him. Corey Day also gained a ton of positions as the run went on. He was 8th at the end of the stage. He restarts 6th inside of row 3. Green flag is back in the air. Great restart for Riggs and Majeski. Majeski holds on to 2nd, gets up in front of Caruth. Caruth with the crossover in turns 3 and 4, though. He cuts to the inside of the 98. Corey Day down low on the bottom, trying to make a pass on, looks like the 11 of Corey Heim, who lost a couple positions on pit road, as you heard moments ago at a time. Surprisingly, not a lot of spots lost for Corey, though, just a couple of them. Riggs leads the opening couple green flag laps now for stage 2. Spent 9 laps under caution for the stage end on this short track. So restarted with 51 laps left in the stage. There was a little bit over 2 seconds of fall off throughout the 60 lap opening stage. There was 10 seconds of fall off in the, or sorry, not 10 seconds, 1 second of fall off in the first 10 laps. I had that backwards. And then once most of the field, about 40 laps in, I noticed was where they were getting about 2.2, 2.4 seconds off of their original fast pace at the beginning of the run. It tapered off. So if we do get into a situation where 40 lap old tires versus 60 lap old tires, I don't think that that's going to specifically make much of a difference. I don't know that we'll really ever get to that point, how short this race is, considering it is a Truck Series race. After the issue on pit road for Ross Chastain, I thought it might have been Matt Mills. I had the wrong niche truck. It was the 44 that was missing a tire. And as you heard there on the broadcast during the caution, he has fallen off of the lead lap because of it. I believe Frankie Muniz got the wave around and Matt Crafton took the free pass. So Muniz saving a set of tires, getting his lap back, maybe hoping for a quick caution to stay on the lead lap. And there are 19 trucks on the lead lap at the moment. So Frankie definitely going to be the first to go a lap down if we get a long enough green flag run here. Half a lap off the leaders. Great job by Majeski to hang on to second this time around as well. It was interesting because the initial start of the race, Corey Hyman was on the pole, got to the lead by taking the inside of row 1. Majeski was on the outside of row 1, spun his tires. So Riggs takes the outside of row 1 on his launch through the restart zone. No problems there. Comes out with the lead as a control truck, and he's already out to about a second advantage over second place. Nearly 2 seconds over Chandler Smith in third. And 2.9 seconds off the lead for Raja Kruth in fourth, who got passed by Smith a couple laps after the restart. And a lot of racing still to go here today at IRP. Chastain has already driven himself up to 20th, which would be the first car lap down. But once we start to see lead lap drivers losing their lap, it's going to be a little bit harder for Chastain to keep up with the pack enough to get that free pass spot. Chastain was kind of hovering around 10th or 11th for most of that opening stage. And I believe he was just outside the top 10 at the end of it in 11th. Got some damage on the left side of the truck from that left front tire. He kind of ran it over in a way with the side skirt of that left side of the race truck after the left front was not secured tightly to the truck. But I don't think the damage is really going to affect anything considering it's a short track, so aerodynamic deficiencies aren't really going to come into play. Jake Garcia battles with Ben Rhodes for 15th. Garcia definitely not able to keep the pace that Ty Majeski, his teammate, has tonight. So that points gap between the first driver in and the first driver outside of the playoff cut line is probably going to be pretty major today if Majeski could stay out of trouble. In the event that he wins, there's already over a race worth of points gap for 8th and 9th in the standings back to Jake Garcia, who's 11th out of the 10 that make the playoffs. So it's kind of looking like it's going to be a must-win situation. The last two races of the regular season for the Truck Series will be Watkins Glen and Richmond. Richmond, the regular season finale. The Glen will be the second road course of the year and the second in 3 races. So a couple more off weeks coming up for the trucks before they end up going out to upstate New York. Not 3 weeks off, though, like we just had. So that's, I believe, the longest off stretch we have for the Truck Series season. Good to see all 3 series in action on the same weekend again for this week. So during the commercial break, we'll go through the full field running order. Lap 85 of 200. We're almost halfway. Lane Riggs is our race leader. Ty Majeski in second. Third for Chandler Smith. Raja Kruth fourth. And Tyler Anker rounds out the top 5 in fifth. Corey Hyman 6th. Corey Day 7th. Grant Enfinger 8th. Stuart Friesen 9th. And Connor Mosack up into 10th. 11th is Caden Honeycutt, Tanner Gray 12th, Daniel Heinrich 13th, Brennan Queen 14th, and Ben Rhodes 15th. 16th is Jake Garcia, Luke Fenhouse 17th, Matt Crafton 18th is the last truck on the lead lap, Frankie Muniz is 19th, and Ross Chastain is 20th. 21st for Brent Cruz, Matt Mills 22nd, Dawson Sutton 23rd, 24th for Jack Wood, Gio Rogero 25th, Tony Breidinger 26th, Andres Perez 27th, Spencer Boyd 28th, Jordan Anderson 29th, Greg Van Alst 30th, 31st, Jason Alexander. Norm Benning, 32nd, is already pulled off the track. Same for A.J. Waller at 33rd, Boston Oliver 34th, and 35th, Cody Dennison. So 4 trucks out, start and park, if you will, I would assume, for all 4 of those guys. And the other 31 trucks out of the 35 that started still in the race. And about half the field that started is on the lead lap, just under halfway through. We'll take our first break of the stream. You're listening live on KRC to the TSport 200 at IRP. Got about 50 people. Good dreams. So thank you all that have hit that like button so far. Be sure to do so we can get to our goal. And be sure to subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, live NASCAR commentary streams like this every NASCAR race weekend for Truck Xfinity Cup races, as well as Cup practice and qualifying. We'll have Cup practice and qualifying for you tomorrow on the channel starting at 2 p.m. Eastern. Move that start time up about a half hour for our stream, with Cup practice getting rained out earlier today. So it sounds like they're going to get a little bit of practice in. Not the full 50 minutes that they were guaranteed for today. It'll be slightly condensed because they're sandwiching their session in between the Xfinity and Cup qualifying. Place is Corey at? I would assume you mean Corey Heim. He was in 6th. Corey Day was behind him in 7th. Still is.
Check the local listings for the game in your area. That's tomorrow at 7 Eastern. Only on Fox. And guess what time it is, guys? Speedway Classic coming your way August 2nd. That is next Saturday. We've been talking about this, for a year.
We've sold over 80,000 tickets.
Wow.
I'm going to be there. It's going to be an amazing event. Cannot wait to watch the Braves and the Reds do battle.
And the pictures that are coming out of Bristol right now with that ball field in the middle, it really doesn't. And it's really cool things that they've done at Bristol Motor Speedway, and Marcus Smith and his whole group. They've done a fantastic job of just creating awesome events in that Coliseum there.
I went to the Reds game during our break, and they invited me to come out and deliver the game ball to the mound. And everybody just wanted to talk about the Speedway Classic. Like, what's it going to be like? Of course, all the race fans, the players who know NASCAR, they're stoked on this. So, you know what question I get? Is there going to be a NASCAR race going on?
Yeah.
A baseball game is happening. I don't think that's possible.
You see, Frankie Muniz has Butterbean. Brennan Queen slips by on the inside. He just got around the 19. With Daniel Hemrick, they're racing hard here, just outside the top 10.
First time we've mentioned Daniel Hemrick tonight. A little bit of news last week. He and his teammate Jack Wood in the 91, they swapped teams, including their crew chiefs.
Oh, I had no idea.
They kept their pit crews and their spotters, Caitlin, but that was big news out of this team.
Yeah, it certainly was. I had a chance to ask Daniel about that exact thing, and he said when you look at the scorebox, we've had a very respectable season, but he said when it came to pace and practice and qualifying, we felt like we were off. So they wanted to make that swap with the crew chiefs, with the entire crews. He said to try and shorten the gap to the competition as they approach the playoffs. So now he does have Kevin Bellacourt with him, who he said he feels like is a good leader. So far, the communication has been good, but of course they will be learning and adapting as they go here today, Jamie.
Yes, and his crew chief, Josh Graham, is new this year to the team, and he's moved over to Jack Wood. So, tough situation, but it all comes down to results.
And I like what the team did right there, right? If you know that you've got a break before the playoffs, like the Truck Series has had this year, take that opportunity to make that change right now. Give yourself 3 weeks for Daniel Hemrick and Kevin Bellacourt to work together, to get to know each other, and to playoffs and not have to be learning something new.
Just a little update. Only a second and 3/10 separate second place Tom Majeski. We saw how Lane Ridge drove away from these guys in stage one. I think Majeski's made that 98 truck better. He's able to keep pace with the 34. You can see just out the windshield there as Majeski exits turn 4.
And something to keep an eye on for the end of the race, Michael. It was about the same point, about 30 laps into the run was when Ty Majeski kind of started to maybe inch forward a little bit in the last run. Lane Riggs was kind of able to neutralize that, but that's when it appears that Ty Majeski's truck seems to start getting to his best, and we'll have to see as we get a little further into this run, as we get closer to the end of the stage, who has the better truck at that point.
Oh, caution.
Caution is out for the first time for incident. It is the 22, and they had a driver change earlier.
Josh
Rayum took over the reins from AJ Waller, and now he gets into the wall. So a lot going on with this team in just the last 20 minutes.
Heavy damage to that right side.
And that's got every appearance as to maybe sliding up with the right rear into the wall at some point. Don't know if there was contact to cause that or if it just got loose. And you see Josh as he's unclipping stuff there, very frustrated. We saw the steering wheel. He was not happy with the steering wheel for a moment there. And
I wonder if maybe he got a little help then if he's upset.
I'm wondering that as we talk about how he slid into the wall and.
Waiting for the replay.
God.
That's got every appearance as to maybe sliding up with the right rear into the wall at some point. Don't know if there was contact to cause that or if it just got loose. And you see Josh as he's unclipping stuff there, very frustrated. We saw the steering wheel. He was not happy with the steering wheel for a moment there. And
I wonder if maybe he got a little help then if he's upset.
I'm wondering that as we talk about how he slid into the wall and seeing that frustration.
Well, he's also the team owner. So you lose a truck, you get in the wall like that, it's a lot of damage. Costs a lot of money to fix these trucks. You know they don't have a bunch of them. See what happened here in progress.
Ooh. He got into that. Like with the right front, is that tire flat? I think he went in right front first,
It
Regan.
does look like right front, yep.
Probably just blew a tire, maybe.
Just right front first, or maybe he backed in and it slapped around because the tire there appears to be up right now on the right front. So
Yeah.
Could be a parts
Definitely
break.
still off.
tough break.
Something broke in the right front.
This race at IRP, Lane Riggs continues to lead. We'll step aside. Their caution.
It didn't seem like so much it was the right front tire going flat as much as it might have been just a break in the right front as far as something mechanical, suspension, whatever it may end up being in the right front. Definitely causing an issue for Josh Rayum after AJ Waller had started the race. Rayum filled in for him, and then that crash ends up happening. Waller will be credited with the points and everything for that 22. 33rd place is where they were running 36 laps down after the driver swap. So Riggs' lead wasn't as big as what it was back at stage one over Majeski, with Majeski being able to stay in second. He was about a second and a half back when the caution flag came out. Riggs did run his best lap of the race during this second stage at lap 72. For most of the drivers in the top 10 still have their fastest lap in the more daylight hours of the race, which is actually kind of surprising because you would think the track temp would be higher, and as the sun sets, track cools, track gets faster usually, but only Corey Day and Lane Riggs in the top 10 positions ran their fastest laps in stage 2. Stuart Friesen back at 13th did. Caruth in 18th, only 4 trucks on the lead lap that ran their fastest laps on that last restart. Frank Powers, thanks for tuning in. Tried to shout you out in the chat. Give you the verbal shout out on top of it. All right. Yeah, I knew this was going to be kind of a tiring night for me. I've been up since about 4:45 this morning because I had to work. I was wide awake during the stream earlier for cup practice, but then I had like so much time elapsed in between streams, and now I'm feeling the effects of being up since early in the morning. But honestly, I feel like I'm clicking on all cylinders with the live commentary stream, so while my eyes are tired, I feel like my brain's still clicking, firing off, full go so far. Hopefully that stays that way. Get past halfway, so the race would be deemed official if we got any sort of rain or weather. I haven't looked at the radar during the course of the race, but I know when I looked at the forecast earlier, when they had that rain going, as far as during the race, I'll see if the weather outlook has changed at all. Raja Karuth on the pit road.
Taping up to fix a bit of a hole there right now with 71 has given.
Yeah, Josh, and Grant Enfinger, one of the other teams who elected to pit here, he was saying he's tighter through the center. They made an air pressure adjustment for him. Remember, he is a former winner here at IRP, came into the race 60 above the cup line. Told me he was hoping they could capitalize, potentially secure their spot with a victory today. Right now, occupying the 14th spot, Jamie.
For those updates.
Yeah, that's interesting because he said he made an air pressure adjustment. That means he took.
Yeah, there's no rain in the forecast right now. Actually, when I looked up the weather, it looks like it's going to be thunderstorming where I live here in about another 45 minutes. So hopefully the race gets done before that, just in case I lose power. My phone's got decent charge to it, so I'll still have my alarm for the morning. I don't think it's going to be too bad, but you never know. Dean Tate, also thanks for tuning in. I don't know if I gave you a shout out yet. Dry unlike Dover, yes. That's right, you were there last week. I remember you mentioning you got soaked. Did you ever dry out in the span of them getting back racing and actually finishing the race, like, let's say, an hour and a half after it started raining? Or no? And did you have a change of clothes when you got back to the vehicle after the race is over? That's the next question. It's a two-parter. We'll have 14 laps to go in stage 2 on the restart, and it will be Riggs and Majeski on the front row yet again. Restart where drivers are going to try to fire off on old tires yet. Now, Raja Karuth taking 4 fresh tires. He'll be 19th. He was the only truck that pitted. And he's definitely got enough laps. I would like to think that Raja Karuth is going to win this stage. But that's going to give him one less set of tires when stage 3 rolls around. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's worth the playoff point, I guess. He didn't think he had anything for the win, but he was in the top 5, so it wasn't like he was far out of the lead. I think it's a guaranteed stage win as long as he doesn't get involved in an incident. And he doesn't have to necessarily rush. I mean, he's going to be about 2 seconds faster a lap once things get broken apart enough for him to be able to make decent lap times when he doesn't have to worry about passing cars. Green flag going to be back in the air. Nobody really spun their tires at the very front of the field. Pretty even start, though, between the teammates of Lane Riggs and Chandler Smith. Majeski actually took the outside of row 2, giving the third place car the inside of row 1, which was Smith. Smith in the earlier short track races this season has done a better job, I'd say, of wrapping the bottom of the racetrack, and he's doing that here on this restart to a great avail, as he is underneath of Riggs. He's kind of hanging on that left rear corner panel down the back straightaway the last time. This time, though, he was about a car length and a half off of his teammate. We'll see if they can hold on for first and second to the end of the stage. Corey Heim still trying to push forward. Stuart Friesen up in the top 5 for the first time today as well. They battle for 4th. The 52 and the 11 do. Tom Majeski in the 98 kind of shuffled off of that outside line when he was trying to make a pass on Chandler Smith for second. He's going to lose third place to Friesen. He's probably going to lose 4th to Corey Heim. and the 11. They're side by side now. And how about Stuart Friesen? What a run this 52 truck is having right now. I mean, he's definitely quicker than Chandler Smith. Smith blocks the top. Friesen will take the bottom into turn 1. Still 9 to go in the stage. He's got plenty of time to get by him for second. I don't know if he's going to have anything for Lane Riggs, but he's making great work. Friesen with a win already this season at Michigan. That race that had 3 overtimes. First win in more than 2 full-time seasons for Friesen, but here he is. Up to second, looking for win number 2 on the year, and there's only 2 drivers who have more than 1 win in the Truck Series this year, which will be Heim with 5 and 2 for Chandler Smith. Riggs looking for his second, though, as well. And by the time Friesen was able to make the pass for second, it's about a 1.7 second deficit for Friesen to get to the back bumper of the 34 of Riggs. Hitting Honeycutt up into 6th. That's as high as he's been in the running order all day today. And Enfinger was in the top 5 for that last restart. It's fallen to 8th. And same for Majeski. Majeski was 2nd at the time of the last caution. He now actually just got passed by Enfinger. Majeski's fading. He's back to 8th place. Great job by Honeycutt. Connor Mosack has been kind of quietly up in the top 10. I noticed he got the 10th early in stage 2. He's now in 9th. And Garcia, who was struggling back at stage 1, keeping up with the racetrack maybe better than his teammate. No stage points in stage 1 for Garcia to Majeski, who had 9 for finishing 2nd in the stage, but now they're 8th and 10th. Garcia trying to minimize the blow, and maybe he can get a much better finish than Majeski, but something is just not right with that 98 right now. I don't know what it is. Nobody pitted. So it couldn't have been a bad adjustment call. I did not see who got the free pass during that last caution, by the way, for the 22 incident. I believe it was Craftsman again. No, it was Chastain, actually, because Chastain's back on the lead lap. So Chastain, it was a lap down because of the deal he had during stage 1, where his left front tire came off. He is on the lead lap in 18th after getting the free pass there. Matt Mills currently in 20th. Trying to hold on to that spot would be the free pass position for the stage 2 caution, which will be coming shortly. Friesen 2/10 quicker than Riggs that last lap. I don't know how much that Riggs is maybe saving his stuff up with just a couple laps to go on the stage and just focusing on not making a mistake. He's got a marginal enough gap. Back to the next truck behind him. He's not fighting through heavy lap traffic either because this is a very short run to the end of the stage. Only 14 laps. So Carruth did not come down and take 4 fresh tires. He did have some right front damage when he came to pit road from the top 5. I would assume that most of the pit stop, they were just working on that right front. And I don't think they actually burned a set of tires because he would have easily driven up to the lead 2 seconds faster lap had that been the case. From 19th, he's only gotten back up to 13th. Bit of a power slide there by Friesen as he gets by another lap truck. Or sorry, not Friesen, Riggs. As he gets by another lap truck off turn 4. So Lane Riggs going to sweep the stages here tonight at IRP. Dominant performance so far for him, winning stage 1 and stage 2. And he has led for 100 laps out of the first 120. All consecutive, just the 1 lead change back at lap 20 between our pole sitter Heim and the driver who started 11th, Lane Riggs. Can anybody beat him in stage 3? 6th stage win of the year for Riggs. He had his 5th in stage 1. 2nd and a half. 3rd was Ben Rhodes, who I believe took tires. I don't know how else he could have gotten to 3rd place. It was kind of sneakily, too. I don't know where he restarted, but it would have had to have been towards the tail end of the lead lap. Although he did start in the top 10, so maybe he's just been quietly up there the whole day, and I just haven't mentioned him until now. But anyway, Ben Rhodes 3rd in the stage. Grant Enfinger 4th. Chandler Smith 5th. Caden Honeycutt 6th. Corey Heim 8th. Luke Fenhouse 9th. And 10th for Connor Mosak. Well, all right. We'll have our second set of pit stops coming up during the Stage 2 break. You're listening live on KRC. Just less than 80 laps to go for the TSport 200 for the Craftsman Truck Series. "51 votes have been locked in as we will close our chat poll, with this being the end of Stage 2. And you guys voted for Corey Heim to take the win tonight at 47% of those 51 votes, nearly half. 29% had somebody other than Heim, Chastain, or Riggs. Well, Riggs wins the first 2 stages. Lane, I'm surprised it was that low. That is very low. Talking single digits of the 51. Taking Lane Riggs for the win. Guys going to look like some geniuses, though, if it does pan out for you. Ross Chastain at 15% of the votes was third in that voting option. Yellow fever coming? Well, hopefully not. It's been a pretty good race so far. I mean, it's been the Lane Riggs show, but it's clicking by at a smooth pace. It's good to see some quality short track racing. You know, nothing terrible by any means.
Car care. What a beautiful night of racing. It is hot though. It is sticky, and we've seen some great action slipping and sliding around there. And guys, we had 10 drivers hit on lap 102. End of Stage 2 now. What's the play call?
That's a great question.
I like that.
It could be split. You pit now, you don't have any more tires. If there's a caution late, we've seen the fall off. That could be the end of your night. But if you stay out right now without a buffer behind you, you're going to be a sitting duck. So I think it's going to be interesting to see which crew chiefs say, I'm going to save that set, sacrifice our run right now, and then get them later in the run. But I'm telling you what, as these laps go by, there's going to be more pushing, shoving. It's going to get
All
more
over the place.
aggressive as we race forward.
I do love the aggressiveness, and you think about some of the guys that did stay out right there when we think about the playoffs, or that pitted right there. We think about the playoffs. You have Grant Enfinger. He takes the chance, right? You've got Stuart Friesen, who has the win. He's just trying to get a playoff point, and you've got Caden Honeycutt, who also came and got those tires. They get some stage points that helps them just a little bit with that buffer that they're looking for above that 10th place spot. And
they're going to need more where that came
see
from.
What they decide to do otherwise. If I'm the driver, I want to save that set, but I'm scared because I don't want to be on old tires right now.
Especially with the pushing and shoving that I told you is getting ready to go down. So this is going to be interesting. A very pivotal point of the race, I believe.
Well, Lane Riggs has just been lights out, but who can keep up with him? Can Stuart Friesen make that right adjustment? Does he even come here? We'll find out in just moments. As pit road opens up, they're going to be coming your way, Josh.
Talk about how good the 34 has been. Well, Chandler Smith is noticing how good his teammate is. He says he's got so much better front turn than I do. He wants that front turn. He also needs a little bit more drive off to catch that 34 the way he wants to.
Well, Ben Rhodes at the middle of your screen, one of the drivers below the cut line coming into this race, saying is a tick tight center. He needs more help to try and get that 99 truck to turn. The 34 of Lane Riggs, stage 1 and 2 winner, saying he's a little bit tight, but entry to exit, really good. Overall, Lane very happy with that 34 truck. Jamie?
Thank you, Caitlin, as you watch work continuing on the 11th truck, bottom of your screen. Work on the left side as Lane Riggs, another great stop by his team. Ben Rhodes.
Majeski out there in the top 5, as you see Chandler Smith as well. Had a few of those guys stay out, Regan.
It's going to make it interesting when we get the restart.
We are racing under the lights at Indianapolis. The third and final stage is coming up next.
We had 9 laps spent under the Stage 1 caution. I would expect the same for Stage 2, so we should have around 71 laps to go in the restart upcoming. And because we're at the end of Stage 2, we've got a diecast showing to get out for you guys. And Our theme for this weekend is going to be former Brickyard 400 winners, since it's Brickyard 400 weekend. I got to go get the die cast. I don't have it next. I kind of put myself on the spot. I didn't know which one to grab. I was trying to start 400 winner. So here's Ryan Newman, who's the winner of the 2013 Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. He actually had his final pole of his NASCAR Cup Series career for that Brickyard 400 as well. He was just fast all weekend, had the fastest car, dominated the race for SHR at the time. This is his Penske number 12, all-tailed Ford Taurus. Before Penske went to Dodge, obviously rookie car, by the way, too. The rookie stripes on the back of it. This for today's Craftsman Truck Series race at IRP. A classic. The Rocket Man. This is like a very basic scheme, but for some reason, I still like it. I still like it. So, it's ours for today. Try not to put myself on the spot tomorrow during the Xfinity race and Sunday during the Cup race. Justin Besaw, thanks for tuning in. Everyone else adjusting to catch up. I mean, that's the idea. He's back in traffic with drivers staying out to conserve a set of tires for this final stage, based off of those who pitted. Stuart Friesen, Grant Enfinger, Luke Fenhouse, Connor Mosack, Jake Garcia, Brennan Queen stayed out. Lane Riggs won the race off of pit road. He's in 7th. And Matt Mills got the free pass for being the first car lap down. We'll have 20 trucks on the lead lap to begin stage number 3. And we will have exactly 9 laps under caution again for this stage. So as I mentioned before, Fox went to a commercial break, that we are looking at 71 laps to go when we get back to racing. Friesen on the outside of row 1, and Grant Enfinger elected the inside. Pace truck on the way to pulling to pit road. By the way, that pace truck is jacked up so high. I don't think I've seen a pace truck sit as high as I've seen the one sitting tonight off the ground.
And they hang
No
on.
ride height on that thing.
New tires. We're about to find out. Green flag is in the air for the 3rd stage from Indianapolis as they fan out behind him. That's Lenny Riggs trucking to the bottom. Stuart Friesen trying to take the lead on his birthday and his 200th start.
Was that 5 wide?
What a day.
Well, finally, it's true too.
Look at this
Action.
craziness. Ben Rhodes, he's on
Oh.
those pressure tires.
Short track racing.
Corey, I'm trying to find a hole to get around Luke Fenhouse.
He wants to get ahead of Lane Riggs. He knows how solid Lane's been. And you can see he's gapped in there, got a couple of truck links on him. He knows that could be the key to winning this race when it's all shakes out.
And I like the move by Corey Heim, right? Took it all the way to the top and go where they're not. That's exactly what he did. Lane's been down on the bottom, got boxed in with maybe so many trucks.
Middle. Corey Heim on the charge back like 20 laps earlier, but it has been all Lane Riggs, and you see him trying to close that gap, keeping the 11 in his sights.
He's got to be patient right here. It looked like Corey did a better job using that high line, as you pointed out, Regan, getting through this traffic. Lane went to the bottom, and it couldn't quite make the ground that Corey did. Stewart's doing a nice job up front on those older tires. New tires, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
And right now, Stuart Friesen seeing that these new tires they're coming forward, right?
It's kind of a crazy alternative thing to think about. I don't think that Corey still has a better truck than, or has as good of a truck as Lane Riggs, because Riggs is chasing him down even as Corey's making passes on drivers up towards the front of the field at the moment. Ben Rhodes, Corey Heim battling for second. Lane Riggs just behind them. But Corey Heim has dominated races that he hasn't won yet this year, so it'd be fitting a race that he doesn't dominate today. He ends up going to victory lane. Just because of how good that team is. Now, they have gotten better from the first run, because at the end of stage 1, he was in 7th, and I believe he was just inside the top 5 at the end of stage 2, and now here he is running in 3rd, led the first 20 laps, and we know if it gets down to a late race situation, he's probably not going to mess around with Lane Riggs, because Riggs cost him a win on the last short track in North Wilkesboro. Final restart of that race with 2 laps to go. They made contact. Riggs basically kind of spun Corey Heim out, overdriving the truck, turns 1 and 2, led for a 1-2 finish for Front Row Motorsports. Riggs getting the win, Riggs finishing second to his teammate, Chandler Smith, that night. Friesen holding on those older tires for the moment. He's got about 14 laps on him. He's doing pretty well for himself. A lot of it's because Ben Rhodes is holding up Corey Heim and Lane Riggs. Riggs already kind of brushed the back bumper of Corey just a couple of laps ago, as they were both fighting for the inside line to get by the 99. I would have thought 14-lap older tires was going to be enough for these guys to kind of take down that 52, but Friesen's doing a wonderful job after finishing second in the last stage. Riggs beats the 11 to the inside, and again, Corey Heim chops him off, enough so that Riggs had to lift or he was going to get driven down into the grass. It was a very aggressive move by Heim, and we don't see that much out of him, but like I said, I think it's because of the guy running behind him more than anything. Corey Day has just cracked the top 5, passing Grant Enfinger for 5th. He fell behind back in stage 2 from where he was, which was 6th at the end of stage 1, but here he is now back in the top 5. And his last truck start, he had a top 5 run, so he's actually looking for back-to-back top 5 finishes. Although it's been a few races since we've seen Corey in the truck series. Corey Day, that is, not Corey Heim. Riggs to the inside of Heim this time, and they'll be door-to-door down the back straightaway for 3rd. Riggs sails it off on the inside lane. Riggs not clear yet. Just can't get that bite up off the exit of the corner these guys in the outer lanes have. Riggs able to slide up in front of the 11, and now Corey Heim will attempt the crossover move down the back straightaway. He moves to the inside of the 34. Sparks flying as that left front fender's bottoming out on the 11. Cuts down to the apron. Stay side by side with Riggs for at least another straightaway. Cornering off into 1 and 2. He doesn't go to the apron that time, though. Runs about a lane off of the yellow line. Riggs diamond cuts the corner off, maybe pinching the exit for Corey Heim. Riggs wins the race back to the gas, and that little line he had not only allowed him to clear the 11, but he dive bombs to the inside of Ben Rhodes for second with a huge run down the backstretch. Through turns 1 and 2, the following time by, he's going to slide up clear, and Lane Riggs has figured out the pass for second place just about a lap or two after passing Corey Heim. He's about 0.8 of a second off the race leader, Stuart Friesen, at the time being. 0.9 back for Ben Rhodes in 3rd. 4th is Corey Heim, 1.2 seconds off the lead. 3 seconds back is Corey, 7 seconds off the lead in 7th, and Roger Caruth, 5.1 seconds off the lead in 8th. 5.5 back for Luke Fenhouse in 9th. Caden Honeycutt 6 seconds off the lead, rounding out the top 10. You got 57 laps to go here at IRP. Lap 144 of 200. Corey Heim to the inside of Ben Rhodes for 3rd. Through turns 3 and 4. Riggs mounting a charge after the 52 of Friesen. Within a few tenths of a second. Riggs going down to the apron through turns 1 and 2, trying a different line. Getting some clean air on the nose, helping the turn. Now he's going to go to the middle group through turns 1 and 2 and try to beat the 52 to the outside on the exit of turn 4. Friesen tried to take his line away by going to the apron. Huge run for Riggs. Start-finish line, bails low. Slide job incoming through turns 1 and 2 now. Riggs clears high. Friesen with the crossover down to the bottom of the racetrack. But on the older tires, is he going to have the grip to stay with them off of turn 4? As both cars barrel it off at a turn 3 entry. Power down, going to go to Lane Riggs. Riggs is clear. Another lead change. Third lead change of the night. Second different time that Lane Riggs has led. It was almost 4/10 quicker than Friesen that last lap in making that pass. And he was 2/10 quicker than that of Ben Rhodes back in third, who was able to hold off Corey Heim for at least a little bit longer in the battle for that spot. Best we've seen Ben Rhodes run in a minute. 53 laps to go at IRP. We'll go through the full field running order rundown now as Riggs is out in front. Stuart Friesen in second, Ben Rhodes in third. Corey Heim in fourth, Corey Day fifth. Then Grant Enfinger sixth, Daniel Hemrick in seventh, Raja Kruth eighth, Luke Fenhouse ninth, Ty Majeski in 10th. 11th is Caden Honeycutt, Chandler Smith back to 12th, Ross Chastain 13th, Tanner Gray 14th, and Tyler Ankrum 15th. 16th is Connor Mosack, Brendan Queen 17th, Jake Garcia 18th, Matt Mills 19th, and Matt Crafton in 20th is the last truck on the lead lap. Dawson Sutton a lap down in 21st, and Brent Cruz 22nd. 2 laps down for Jack Wood in 23rd, and Gio Ruggiero, Andres Perez in 24th and 25th. Tony Breidinger is in 26th, Spencer Boyd 27th, Frankie Muniz 28th, Greg Van Alst 29th, and 30th, Jordan Anderson. Jason Alexander 31st, and we have 4 trucks out of the race right now. Norm Benning, AJ Waller 32nd, 33rd, then 34th, 35th, Boston Oliver, and Cody Dedison. So that rounds out our 35 truck field. 3 cautions tonight, only 1 for incident, which was in the back half of stage 2, right around the halfway point. I think the initial caution itself came out at lap 98, and the 2 stage yellows were at lap 60 and lap 120. Race up, he went on to dominate stage 1 from there. Then he went out and led nearly every lap of stage 2. Actually, did lead every lap of stage 2 because he won the race off pit road, got a good restart, stayed out in front. And so Riggs has led over 100 laps today. On alternating pit strategies, Stuart Friesen got to restart in the lead to begin stage 3. He led for 20 laps before Riggs just took the lead away from him moments ago. So that is an update to where we're at right now. 24 laps spent under yellow with those 3 cautions entirely. Less than 50 remaining here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. We'll take a quick break. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content like this every NASCAR race weekend as our live commentary coverage continues on the TSport 200. Cheater7, thanks for tuning in. $47 likes on the stream. Our like goal is 50, so we're only 3 likes shy of our goal. Sure to help out the channel by hitting the like button, subscribing for more NASCAR content if you have not done so yet. We just hit 6,500 subs on the channel earlier today. Got that even number as we're chasing the road to $7 grand.
Rex, guys, he had to earn it that time. Started a little farther back, took his time, finally got around Stuart Friesen, and here he goes, slicing and dicing his way back through.
Rigging that. If you're Lane Riggs, got the lead now, do you chill a little bit? Maybe not run the 100% lap times, just take it easy on those rear tires?
Yeah, and I was just thinking the same thing, Michael, because we saw as he caught Stuart Friesen, it was about 2 to 3 tenths of a second a lap, and Stuart's done a nice job of hanging in there with him, and I'm honestly questioning that right now a little bit. Is he saving, or is Stuart just adjusting and finding a way to get a little more speed out of the 52?
Well, the first 3 trucks weren't in the top 5 it's that last time by. So there's definitely, I think it's just positioning for Lane Riggs. He's just running fast enough to keep the lead right along the bottom, keep that truck up under him in case we go all the way to the checker without a caution. That's hard to do, isn't it? Though, you know, you look in your mirror and that truck behind you getting bigger and bigger. Like, I better step on it a little bit.
I think from a driver's perspective, you can't help but give it a little bit more and a little more. And meanwhile, your crew chief maybe is telling you, hey, save me a little bit. Yeah, that's one of the toughest things to do.
You saw that graphic. Just what Lane Riggs has done tonight. We've talked about, I mean, he runs up front about every single week, but he has led more laps tonight than he has all season long combined
If you're worried about Lane's pace, last time by, he was the fastest truck over Stuart Friesen by almost 3/10 of a second. So I think there's something in the tank there for the 30.
Little management happening.
Yeah, and I like that a lot. That's smart. Now let's ask another question, Regan. We talked about it earlier. Caution with, say, 20 to go. Do all these leaders that have fresh tires go in there and get them?
I don't know that I want to be a crew chief if that happens, Michael. And we see right here a good battle going on with Corey Day and Corey Heim right now. And Corey Day doing a fantastic job. We talked about him earlier in the race. He's now battling for third place, just continuing to impress the past few weeks.
A lot of racers were high on Corey Day from what he did in the dirt world. They said he's going to be the next superstar. I think he's showing tonight he has the potential to be just that. What a strong run for this 7 truck.
And Kyle Larson led that effort. He really talked to his team, Hendrick Motorsport, and said, you got to get this guy in a truck or a car. He is the next best thing. And it was not easy for him. Corey Day struggled, guys. He didn't even have a top 10 until we went to Nashville. Suddenly gets a top 5, and tonight he's running like he's been in the truck series for multiple years.
It's amazing, you know, what momentum, not only momentum does, but also seat time and laps and you know, when it clicks for a driver, oftentimes we see that. We know that's a good truck. I mean, we know that he's a good driver. Corey Day's a good driver, and making the bottom work. I love watching these trucks when they can just hook the bottom like that and find a way to slowly inch up. And that takes a lot of discipline also, right? That you feel like you're not completing the pass, but if you're gaining 2 or 3 feet a lap, that's all you've got to do. Just keep gaining 2 or 3 feet.
I'm glad you said that word, Regan. I was thinking the same thing, discipline. It's so hard to watch another guy on the outside just go 3 truck lengths deeper into the corner than you. Stay patient, keep working that bottom, using your line, and just getting half a truck length, a quarter is all you're looking for. Maybe a quarter of a truck length, just anything.
Battle continues here between Corey Heim and Corey Day.
The Corey and Corey show.
2 seconds behind the leader, Lane Riggs. Step aside, you won't miss a thing as we go Fox side by side.
All right, well, there you have it. 37 laps to go. Lane Riggs is out ahead by just over a second now to Stuart Friesen. 2.2 seconds back is Corey Heim in third, then Corey Day 2.4 seconds off the lead in fourth. Fifth is Ben Rhodes, sixth for Grant Enfinger. Seventh place is Ty Majeski. Chandler Smith, eighth. Daniel Hemrick, ninth. Raja Karuth rounds out the top 10. Corey Day's gained 10 positions since the restart, most of any driver. Connor Mosack has lost 14. I believe he was one of those that were on older tires on the last restart. But so is Stuart Friesen, and he only fell from the lead back to second. He's done a great job hanging on to that track position. Great strategy call to not only get him to second in the stage, but the fact that he was able to leapfrog that many trucks and continue his track position running order. I mean, we've gotten so many laps into the run now, whatever the 14 lap or so fresher tires for everybody else on that last restart have more than evened out at this point in the run, as we have gone nearly 30 laps in. Actually, a little more than that, about 37, 38 laps into the green flag run currently. Restarted with 71 to go. Corey Day did make a pass on Corey Heim for third place, and he's less than 2 seconds off the lead. We'll keep an eye on that 7 truck to see if he's got anything for our race leaders as the race progresses. He's just getting better and better as the night moves on. He's closing in, too. He was a couple tenths quicker than the leader Riggs at last lap. Now, he does have a lot of lap traffic around him, too, so that could maybe cost him a little bit of time. Stuart Friesen's almost starting to put a little bit of a charge to that 34 car as well. I'm not going to say that Riggs has won this thing yet if it stays green to the end. Brief moment, Corey Day got to about 1.4 seconds off the lead. Then he caught that heavy dose of lap traffic. And he has since lost a little bit of time, and now he's a little over 2 seconds off the lead again. Still keeping a gap back to Corey Heim, who he just passed for that spot, though. Corey's got to be at least 6 or 7 truck lengths off of third. Friesen quicker than the leader that last lap by almost 0.2 of a second. And a 25.082. 25.393. 0.3 quicker for Friesen that last lap over Riggs. Riggs is trying to work over the 77 of Andres Perez at the moment, so that is kind of holding Riggs up. He starts to struggle in lap traffic. Look out. Got by the 77, and now he's got Gio Ruggiero to work with. Connor Mosak in the 81 all right there. These are all trucks that are on the lead lap, or at least were. So Perez just got past. Mosak at 18. Actually, no. Perez and Ruggiero were already a lap down, so they're 2 down now. Mosak is the last truck on the lead lap in the 81, right in front of the leader. Mentioned that Day slipped back to just over 2 seconds off the lead. He's right back down to 1.8 back again. For best run 5th at Nashville in his last start and running 3rd here tonight at IRP. Looking to top that. I believe he had a top 10 in his last Xfinity start as well, which he's only made 4 of them on the season. So, great job for Corey Day, just getting better. That was a very quick turnaround, too, to go from wrecking every single week to, well, now he's, competing for solid race wins. He did not get a top 10 in his last Xfinity start. I lied about that. He hasn't DNF'd in Xfinity this year, though, so that's good. Completing all the laps. A lot of whatever race he ran and then fell out of it. I think Pocono was the last Xfinity race he ran. No, Chase Elliott ran that race. He subbed in for Corey a couple days beforehand. So I think Dave was supposed to run that event. Probably trapped out at a dirt show somewhere. If I had to guess. Yeah, 3rd place would feel like a win for him. It'd feel good. I don't know if it'd feel like a win, but it'd feel good. The equipment he is in is definitely capable of getting the job done. I mean, Roger Kruth has won for Spire this year. Kyle Larson, obviously, winning for Spire. I think the lone win that Carson Hocevar's had in trucks this season was for Spire. So, obviously, 2 of those drivers are in the Cup Series full-time, but we've seen him win. It's good equipment, and he's doing a great job of it today. I don't know if he's able to consistently gain enough to run down the leaders if it stays green to the end. I'm not counting Friesen out of it, though. I think either Friesen's going to catch Riggs in heavy lap traffic or Day's going to catch Friesen. But I don't think the battling inside the top 3 is done yet. Heim is struggling to keep up with the 3 trucks in front of him, and he's actually about to lose a spot to Enfinger here before long. They're within about 0.7 of a second of each other. Corey Day definitely running the slowest lap times of those in the top 10. 25.424 that last lap. Enfinger about 1/10 quicker. Riggs gets by the 07. Brennan Queen. Honestly, I thought Queen was going to have a better night tonight. 17th place. Great short track racer. I will say, it seems like whenever somebody steps into the 07 at Spire Motorsports versus the 7, they're well off on speed because we've seen Kyle Busch run the 07 several times this year. I think Nashville he ran that race and finished like 15th. It was not good that day. Might have actually finished a lap down also. He was a lap down at one point in that race, but Yeah, not a great day that day for him. It's been a couple other times. I think Bush also ran at North Wilkesboro. And now Brennan Queen, who we know is pretty good on the short track ranks, has a top 3 at North Wilkesboro in his truck career already. His first start in the truck series, in fact, last season. So him being a lap down to 17th, I think that Spire team as a whole needs to improve on the 07 specifically. Because the 71 and the 7, they've got to figure it out. More so the 7, but like I said, Caruth has a win this season, so, and he won in that truck last year as well. 2 years in a row, he's had a win in the truck series. Corey Day within a couple tenths of a second of Friesen with 17 laps to go, so they're going to be battling for second. Ty Majeski still holding on to a decent day. Fell behind on that last restart back at stage 2, where he went from 2nd to 8th. And he's only gained 2 spots since then to 6th. Day kind of caught his teammate Queen in a bad spot there off turn 4. Couldn't power down the throttle to let the truck ride all the way up to the wall because he didn't have the 07 cleared. Next corner through turns 1 and 2, though, he gains whatever ground he would have lost the turn before that back. And he is definitely quicker than this 52. They start battling, they're really going to lose time to Lane Riggs. And laps are winding down quickly at this point. We're down under 14 to go. They may be catching the lap truck of the 1. A little bit better than Friesen caught the 1 truck off turn 2. That's Brett Cruz in the 1 truck tonight for Tricon Garage. Corey Day going to try the outer lane now through turns 1 and 2. This is going to be a big run off the exit of the corner, and I think he's going to beat the 52 to the outside lane. He does. They'll be side by side into turn 3. How long will it take for Day to clear the 52 of Friesen? Got his bumper out in front of him by the start-finish line. Got a lap truck of Jordan Anderson on the outside. Day has to go to the middle groove, squeezes through a tight gap. Still able to clear the 52. Might have lifted and gave him a little bit more room. Concedes the position. And Corey Day is up to 2nd place at about 2.5 seconds off of the race leader with 12 laps to go. He's got a lot of clean air in front of him right now, so if he is to put down some lap times to try to run down the leader, now is the time. What a drive by Corey Day. I'll tell you what, if he does get a chance to get to Lane Riggs, we're going to have a heck of a finish between the 7 and the 34. These guys are going to drive the wheels off of it to go for this race win. Corey Day is known for doing that in the dirt ranks, hasn't had a chance in the asphalt / NASCAR ranks yet. And we know Lane Riggs is willing to do whatever it takes to win. He's roughed some fenders up of Hocevar at Kansas and ended up turning Corey Heim at North Wilkesboro already this year. Might be another moment in there that I'm forgetting. First 2 laps after getting by Friesen, he was quicker, and then he lost time, probably overstepped it just a bit. 9 laps to go, and now he's 2.8 seconds off the lead. He's probably going to need a caution to get there. He can run faster laps than Riggs at times, but not on a consistent enough basis and by a big enough of a gap to really get this 34. There is quite a bit of lap traffic in front of Lane Riggs that he's going to catch in these final 8 laps, but if he is able to get by even just a few cars, those are the same cars that Day would have to catch to get to the 34. So Riggs is going to have to get held up mightily for something like that to happen. So Riggs trying to go for 2 wins in the last 3 races. It'll be 2 oval race wins in a row, kind of similar to the rookie in the Xfinity Series, Connor Zilic, winning back-to-back ovals there at Pocono and Dover. Be Pocono IRP for Riggs. Ton of traffic in the battle around 10th between Roger Kruth and Tyler Ankrum. Ninth place battle. In fact, Chastain drove it down into the grass right behind him. And 11th, trying to undercut the corner as much as he could. He didn't dig the splitter in, so we're good. Keeping it green, 5 laps to go. Ben Rhodes has already fallen out of the top 10 after restarting in second place, I believe, to begin this stage. It's back to 12th. Only 15 trucks on the lead lap in the closing laps of the race. Top 5 has Lane Riggs in the lead. Corey Day second, Stuart Friesen third, Corey Heim fourth, Grant Enfinger in fifth with 4 to go. Lead is 2.3 seconds for Riggs over Day, the last time by the start-finish line. Corey Heim looking for his 10th top 5 of the season. Wasn't the Corey Heim day necessarily, where he only led 20 laps. It might be the least amount of laps he's led in a single race this year, honestly. Outside of Atlanta when he had a mechanical failure in that one, but I think he won stage 1 before he dropped out of the race. He did finish the race because he got back out on track and ran because he hasn't DNF'd yet this year, but that's the only other race I could think of where he didn't really lead for an extended period of time. This is not normal in the 2025 Truck Series season. White flag in the air at the start-finish line for Lane Riggs. He's 1 lap away from the checker. He's got a 2.2 second lead over Corey Day. He can coast it from here. Day's gap over Friesen, who he passed several laps ago, is about a second and a half. Really no battles in the top 5 here on the closing lap of the race. Just 1 caution for incident tonight. Lap number 98 back at stage 2. And then the lap 60 and lap 120 stage ends. 3 yellows, 3 lead changes. Checkered flag waving for Lane Riggs. He is a winner at IRP. First career win at this racetrack. Second win of the season. 4th of the truck career for Riggs. Margin of victory 1.8 seconds over Corey Day. And it's a max points day, I do believe, for Riggs. No, not a max points day because he didn't get the fastest lap of the race. I believe Corey Heim had the fastest lap on lap 2 at the start of the event with that clean air he had at the moment. 23.338 is the fastest lap. Again, that was set by Corey Heim. But Riggs gets 60 points. He gets 2 stage wins, and he gets a race win. That's 7 playoff points on the day for him. So he's starting to rack them up. 6 stage wins, 2 race wins, and 16 playoff points. Second most in the Truck Series. He's tied for the second most wins. And there's a very good probability he just moved up to second in points for the regular season standings in front of his teammate, Chandler Smith. Congratulations, though, to Corey Heim with his 4th place finish and the amount of stage points he scores tonight. He has clinched the regular season championship for the Craftsman Truck Series. So 15 playoff points are now officially awarded to Corey Heim. He's already got 39 with the 5 race wins, and I forget how many stage wins he's had so far this season. 14 stage wins on the year. Jeez Louise. And now he's got another 15. And we still have 2 more races left in the regular season. Watkins Glen, where he won on the first road course at Lime Rock Park, and then Richmond, which is probably going to be the Lane Riggs to be the favorite for that one, I'd assume, based off his performance here tonight on a low grip short track, just like Richmond. A little bit different, a little bit bigger, slightly more banked in the corners, but low grip, slipping and sliding, conserved tires. Riggs was the one to beat tonight. He gets the job done. Definitely a huge congratulations to him. Led 160 out of 200 laps. The only other two drivers to lead were Corey Heim, who led for 20, and 20 for Stuart Friesen. Career best run for Corey Day, runner-up in second place. You'll get to hear from him in a few moments after we get a word from our race winner, Lane Riggs. And then once we get our interviews and FS1 heads to commercial break, we'll go through the full field running order, finishing order for tonight's event. The TSport 200 at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Before the Riggs interview here, just a reminder, tomorrow's NASCAR Cup Series live commentary stream for practice and qualifying will be at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Big Oval at Indy. And the Xfinity Series race coverage will begin at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Cup race coverage at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday with our pre-race for the Brickyard 400 2025 edition.
Popped up.
Here's your race winner, Lane Riggs.
He certainly is. An incredible burnout by him there. Of course, getting some congratulations from his team. What an incredible effort by all of them here on this crew today. And Lane, but he's not done. He's still going to celebrate with the rest of the crew. Rightfully so. He had told me before the race that this team was peaking at the right time. Lane Riggs winning both stages. A simply dominant performance as well for him. Showing the camera. Showing the camera. Oh, we got a fire. Yep, there you go. Lane, this was a flawless performance by you and your team. How were you able to execute and make this one happen?
Oh man, my team, this truck was badass, man. It was so great. I was just out front saving my tires at the end, and man, I was just waiting for a late race caution, trying to run the bottom and trying to run the least amount of distance to keep just distance off my tires. But just so great to get nicotine clue nicotine pouches in Victory Lane. This is only their second race with us, so we're just super excited to have them as and a part of board. Just thanks everybody at front row. I'm out of breath. That was a pretty cool celebration. Thanking everybody at home. It's man, all the guys in the Fab Shop, Body Shop. These guys did it for you guys. This thing was really, really fast. Made my job easy today.
Very impressive win. Enjoy this one. Lane Riggs, the winner here at IRP. Jamie.
Best career finish for Corey Day, who comes home second. I know you like to finish one spot better, but you told me at Nashville felt like things clicked. How do you put it towards this performance tonight?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's definitely good to back up Nashville. I was telling everyone it clicked, and I felt like it clicked, but unless I come here and back it up, it means nothing. So yeah, really glad to finally be delivering results. I've been working really, really hard at this stuff to be delivering these results, and I really want to be during a burnout up there. So I'm going to keep working as hard as I can. Very thankful for Hendrick Motorsports, Jeff Andrews, Jeff Gordon, Mr. H, Kyle Larson, just everyone who's believed in me to get me to this point. Thank you to HendrickCars.com, Spire Motorsports for bringing me a super fast Chevy Silverado, and yeah, we'll keep working at it, but good day for sure.
Run-up finish for Corey Day, Jamie.
We certainly did. Not just backed it up. He was here and...
All right, we'll go through the rest of the finishing results behind our race winner, Lane Riggs. As you heard from Corey Day there moments ago, he finishes second, career best for him. Stuart Friesen in third with his second best finish of the year. Well, third best, actually. He's got a first, second, and a third. A second by nose at Atlanta, a win at Michigan, and now third tonight. Corey Heim finishes in fourth after starting on the pole. Grant Enfinger rounds out the top five in fifth. Ty Majeski in sixth. Then Chandler Smith 7th, Daniel Hemrick 8th, Tyler Ankrum 9th, Ross Chastain came back from a lap down to finish in 10th. Raja Kruth in 11th, 12th for Ben Rhodes, Luke Fenhouse 13th, 14 trucks finished on the lead lap tonight. Tanner Gray was the last of which in 14th. Caden Honeycutt in 15th, first truck a lap down. Jake Garcia 16th, Brendan Queen 17th, Connor Mosak 18th, Matt Crafton 19th, and Dawson Sutton 20th. Jack Wood 21st, Matt Mills 2 laps down in 22nd. Same for Andres Perez, Brent Cruz, Spencer Boyd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Gio Ruggiero also 2 laps down in 26th, and Tony Breidinger 27th. 3 laps down, Frankie Muniz in 28th. 6 laps down for Greg Van Alst and Jordan Anderson in 29th and 30th. 31st, 7 laps down, Jason Alexander. And then we had 4 DNFs tonight. Norm Benning finishing 32nd, AJ Waller 33rd. In relief for him was Josh Reaume, and then he had a parts issue. Failure in turns 3 and 4. He hit the wall. That was actually the only caution for incident of the night. That was back at stage 2. Boston Oliver finishes 34th. Cody Dennison rounds out the 35 truck field. That wraps up tonight's live commentary stream right here on the channel. Be sure to tune in for tomorrow's double header of NASCAR content right here on the channel. 2 p.m. Eastern again, we'll be live for NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying for the Brickyard 400 Xfinity race tomorrow evening at 4:30 p.m. Eastern also. Congrats again to Lane Riggs, and thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate your support as always, and I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon.